Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So something a bit different in this video. I'm going to be doing a bit of an experiment. I've picked some household things that I might be able to turn into a wood stain. So the idea of this video is to show you potentially what you might be able to use lying around your home as an alternative to traditional wood stain, such as tea, coffee and a few other things. So firstly, starting off with mustard. Quite a common condiment that you might find in any kitchen. I'm going to just simply apply it with a paintbrush. Easy to apply. Next up is turmeric. This is a common spice. I added some hot water to it just to dilute it, turn it into a liquid, and again applied with a paintbrush. Now for a tea bag. Again, I added some hot water to the tea bag. Now for coffee, I'm using instant coffee. And again, I added some hot water to it to dilute it down. You could use ground coffee if you have some. Now onto some squash. I applied this neat, I didn't add any water to it. Now for some food colouring. I've got some red food colouring, really cheap to buy. I just added a few drops and didn't dilute it down. And now some shoe polish. I've got this blue shoe polish, but you could use black or brown. You could also use a neutral shoe polish. This one went on quite easily because it's a cream. So if you have normal shoe polish, you might want to heat it up a bit, or you could also use liquid shoe polish. And once applied, I buffed off any excess polish. Okay, so after 24 hours, everything has dried. I've drawn a line down the centre of this board and added a second coat to the top section. So the top sections have 2 coats, the bottom sections have 1. So starting off then with the mustard and the turmeric. Not much going on with the mustard. It does dye the wood yellow, but it's not very vibrant, it's quite dull. Whereas the turmeric has a nice vibrant sheen to it, especially when you double it up with 2 coats. So now moving on to tea and coffee. Tea, very subtle, even with 2 coats. It does stain the wood slightly, but not much at all. Coffee on the other hand gives it a nice brown colour. And then with 2 coats you can see it really darkens up nicely. So the squash I used was very disappointing. It didn't do much at all. It dyed the wood ever so slightly. You can see the original colour there. I don't know what colour you'd call that, just a slightly darker shade of the original colour that the wood already was, so not too effective. And then the shoe polish and the food colouring, these were probably my two favourites, as well as the coffee. You can see with 2 coats of shoe polish it does darken up. Quite a strong blue, so if you're using a black shoe polish or brown, you could get similar results here. This was like a shoe cream, just making it easier to spread. So you could just heat up the shoe polish slightly, just warm it up before you use it to get it to spread nicely so that it goes into the wood. And the food colouring, here's the first coat, here's the second coat built up, a nice deep dark shade of red. Quite surprising actually, looks quite nice to me. Food colouring is very cheap and you don't need to use much. I didn't dilute mine, but I suppose you could experiment with diluting it. As you can see, it gives a nice deep red tinge to the wood. Okay, so that is about it then for this video. So just to summarise then, my favourites were the turmeric, the coffee and the food colouring. I don't think the mustard was very good. It does dye the wood yellow, but it's not very vibrant. If you want a nice vibrant yellow, go for the turmeric and add 2 coats. Tea doesn't do too much. Bearing in mind, I have only tested this out on a piece of pine, so do your own experiments on different types of wood and different dilutions, because I might have got the dilutions wrong, who knows. Coffee is pretty good. It gives a nice natural brown and it darkens up nicely when you add a second coat. The squash didn't do a lot. Food colouring gives a nice dark reddish tone and you can build that up as well. That's nice, and so does shoe polish. So there you have some alternatives to traditional, more expensive wood stains. Why not experiment yourselves and give it a go and see what you can come up with. And if you have any tips, things that I haven't mentioned in this video that can be used as wood stain, please let us all know in the comment section. So if you like this video, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next time.